My name is Morgan. Some of you may know me as the Donut Kid, but there's more to the story than that. I was born on the 21st of February 2001 at 2:01 a.m.
Look at that.
in the Freemasons Hospital in Melbourne. To my parents Ellie and Mark. This is the house I grew up in. This is the city I grew up in. Growing up, I was always a naturally curious and busy kid. One of my earliest memories was that of my grandma coming over on a weekend, and somehow I convinced her to buy pieces of plastic from my lounge room fruit shop. I also recall running a movie theatre out of my bedroom around the age of 6, where I would greet my friends at the door with hand-drawn tickets upon entry. So how did it all go from selling fake movie tickets to obsessing over the kitchen? Well, in early 2009, I remember sitting with my family watching TV, and a preview for a new series called MasterChef came on. Through watching the contestants on the show, it made me think, if they can do it, I could as well. After a few months of getting into cooking, I suddenly found myself in the kitchen with every spare minute I had. After a family holiday to the US, I found myself in love with the food that was on offer there. Upon getting back to Australia on the night of arrival, much to my jet-lagged parents' surprise, I was full of energy and decided to start a restaurant in the family dining room. This was the night Bistro Morgan was born. Being the curious and passionate kid I was, I found myself at an amazing cafe in Melbourne one afternoon, enjoying what Melbourne had to offer. Upon paying the bill, I caught the attention of the person serving us, which, at the time, I had no idea was the owner of the cafe. After a brief chat with me over the purchase of some fresh coffee beans, she quickly realised I knew a lot more about food than your average 13-year-old. I explained to her how I loved cooking and baking from home. Following that, she mentioned that they were in need of a new cake supplier, and she'd love to taste a few of my samples. A few months went past, and the idea of supplying the cafe was still ingrained in the back of my mind. So, I followed it up. I ended up taking down some samples to this cafe, and before I knew it, they placed their first order. On Valentine's Day of that year, the cafe wanted to have something special to sell, and that ended up being my first batch of donuts. Following up from an earlier interview with the Herald Sun, they were doing a Where Are They Now style piece on the people that were featured. I didn't think too much of it. However, a couple of weeks later, I woke up on a school morning to something that I had never expected. I had received a message from the producer of the Today Show asking me to be on the program. Following this, I soon learnt that I had landed a major placement in the Herald Sun. So before I knew it, I was home packing my bags for a flight to Sydney that night. Upon landing at 11 p.m, I had a long night ahead of me, getting 60 donuts ready to co-star with me the next morning. After that interview, it all started to take off. I went from 2 cafes wanting a few donuts to more than 20 begging me to supply them daily. Moving into 2016, things really started to shape up. Throughout that year, alongside working on my business, I obsessed over owning my own shop. However, I really wasn't ready to take on the responsibility of my own store yet. So, I came to a compromise with my parents, and they let me open up an 8-day pop-up over the September school holiday period. In the 8 days that the pop-up ran, we ended up selling over 10,000 donuts. After falling in love with the space I did the pop-up in, I convinced myself that it was the space I was going to run my business out of. December that year, the Bistro Morgan store opened its doors. Moving into 2017, the store was fully functional and I was about to start year 11. Over the next 12 to 18 months, with ongoing media coverage, the business continued to grow even with my head stuck in the books. Things started to get busy. During this period, we also continued to run a series of pop-ups and events. Coming into 2018, I had my final year of schooling and an insanely busy year running my business ahead of me. Nobody could have ever prepared me for how full on those next 12 months were going to be. During this crazy year, I also made an appearance on Shark Tank Australia where, despite receiving 4 offers, I felt it was best, in my opinion, to continue running the business off my own back. After finishing school, things got real. I felt like I had hit a plateau. I found myself in a mid-ground where I was neither motivated nor unmotivated. I was in a post-school blues. Life was ahead of me, but what was next? None of my school friends were in the same position I was leaving school. Pushing through this, I started working full-time in the business, which was something I had never previously been able to do. As I gained confidence in my abilities and started to have a good sense of direction, I felt that I had a grip on the business and its operations like never before. The opportunity to open a pop-up store in Los Angeles came my way, and I jumped at it. So in June of 2019, I ran a 4-day pop-up store where we sold out of our donuts within hours daily. Following this, a whirlwind of opportunities came my way, from hosting a mini-series on Nick Jr. to sharing my story at multiple events and schools around Australia. Throughout the year, I felt myself growing as a person. With that, I brought my business alongside me in the maturing process, knowing it was time for it to evolve as well. I opened the bakehouse portion of my business soon after. As part of this process, I realised the importance of a work-life balance. This year, I ended up meeting my best friend Leon. Throughout this friendship, I gained further insight into living life and enjoying myself outside of work. I would be a very different person without him. There's no denying it. These last few years have been truly insane, but I'm now more excited than ever for what's coming next, and I can't wait to share this next chapter with you.